Jupiter represents optimism and being able to recognize the opportunities that perhaps were always there. It's just that now we're ready to acknowledge them and seize them even. When Jupiter changes directions, that means that Jupiter is closer to the Earth than it might otherwise be. And there's every reason for hope. But when Jupiter goes direct, it's like our blessings are able to come forward that much more. And we start to feel as if life is moving in a more positive direction as well. In an instant, we might find ourselves feeling more grateful, with a greater sense of perspective and with a greater sense of the possible in at least one area of life. Well, Jupiter is going direct this week in the sign of Gemini. And Gemini, well, that has to do with information and communication, what we're talking about, what we're reading, what we're hearing, whether it's on the news, whether it's as a collective, or whether it's in our own lives in terms of the emails or snail mails that are reaching us now. All of that holds the potential for giving us great news that leads to positive change and an awareness around greater opportunities in our lives. This is what the ancients called the higher benefic, magnified in power and importance at this time. As a general principle, you do want to remember with Jupiter, you've got to be proactive with it. That's the point. Sometimes we have occurrences taking place that are all about a higher will playing out. And we've got that this week as well, with the North Node being very powerfully activated. And I have spoken about that over in the monthly horoscopes. You may want to review that again. But outside of that, with Jupiter though, be proactive. You've got to take action. And when you do so from a place of optimism, of faith, it's not that every single thing lines up exactly as you specified, but you're much more likely to feel a sense of positive outcomes being that much more likely. You're that much more likely to have a sense of progress take place for you that absolutely can feel like a blessing. But it's Jupiter. You've got to participate in order to make the most of it and in order to feel as if Jupiter delivered on the promises that feel present to you now. How it is that Jupiter going direct speaks to you and your sign, well, that's going to depend on your sun, moon, and rising sign. You want to take all three into consideration and synthesize the information to make it that much more unique to you. But remember, in at least one area of life, it feels as if you are moving forward towards better, towards more. There's an unleashing of happiness, even if you haven't felt it so far, you are set to now. Now, if you want even more horoscopes, check out my YouTube channel over at Nadiya Shah, and of course, over on my website, nadiyashah.com, and the superstar space at thefutureismagical.com. Aries, your neighborhood, your siblings, cousins, and neighbors. Well, look, there could be positive things taking place in the lives of one of these people or in your more immediate environment, your local environment. And you might be especially happy about that, even if it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with you directly. But a much more likely scenario is synchronicity is going to be operating super high for you now, which means you find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right person. And it makes all the difference now. Now, it isn't always what you think. It isn't that you meet somebody and they rescue you from your life. Of course not. But it could be you just hear what you need to hear, or you're given a clue, an insight into a direction that you might want to go in, and you being spontaneous and following it up. Well, that allows an unleashing of positive energy, but also good fortune in your life now. Taurus, money you earn, money you spend, self-love, self-esteem are covered here. Well, now that Jupiter is going direct, now Jupiter will be moving forward and is going to leave this part of your sky in June. Think back, because it was in the middle of last year that Jupiter first moved in here, and you are on this journey from moving from one way of earning money and one particular income bracket to either a completely different way of earning money, doing something very different, or a higher income bracket than you were in before. It is this move of Jupiter that is a key moment as part of that journey that you are in the midst of now. Whether it is you finally getting news about that raise, that promotion, whether it is a new idea that holds tremendous potential for prosperity, or whether it is a new perspective on self, the value that you are giving to what you give to the world and how you feel that the universe responds to that, well, that's where all this lucky energy is able to come in that much more readily. But remember, this is Jupiter, which means that you do need to be proactive with this energy to make it count for something. So you have a great idea, take some action, even symbolically speaking. If it is that you want advancement, go and speak to somebody who can make it so. Figure out your pathway forward, because again, even a small action can be rewarded many times over. Gemini, identity, personality, who you know yourself to be, what matters to you first and most, and priorities. Now, this is a really good place to have Jupiter go direct, because it means you are knowing yourself differently, more expansively, from a more healed perspective, from a perspective that feels as if so much more becomes possible to you because of you, because of who you are. It is a new chapter, but it's also you being a magnet in a way that can feel especially rewarding. This is Jupiter. Follow it up with action. Whatever that inspiration might be, whatever suggestion might be out there, it is you that is able to take it and run with it and make the most of opportunities that could be presenting themselves to you now. But more importantly, it's knowing yourself differently, seeing yourself differently, changing your self-definition that makes so much more and so much better within reach. Cancer, karmic blessings, karmic closures, and what's happening on levels of soul, psyche, and spirit. Now, as much as with Jupiter going direct, it is an energy that you should be proactive with. I'm always going to advise that. I think that need to be especially proactive is going to be a little lessened for you, because some of the best stuff that's set to happen with Jupiter direct is going to feel like it just shows up, seemingly out of nowhere for some Cancerians out there. Now, this might be a fortunate closure that takes place in your life, and you're that much more grateful for what it is that feels like it's leaving, and it's such a blessing. But this could also be a brand new sense of the possible, doors opening up for you, new opportunities coming in. And it's based on the things that have been happening without your awareness. So people speaking well of you on your behalf, or some goodwill that you sowed a long time ago, now catching up to deliver blessings in one way or another. It feels as if life is on your side, and it makes itself known in ways that you hadn't anticipated, whether it's your spirit guides, whether it is your own personal healing, or whether it is practical opportunity. There are forces on your side encouraging you forward. Leo, friendships, group dynamics, big blessings open up to you as a result of whom you're aligned with and who you know. It's not necessarily what you know that opens up greater potential and possibility for you now. Consider that it is here that we find the higher hopes and wishes for your life. And it is by being in the right groups and the right memberships, at the right social events, hanging out with the right people where you least expected, that you find yourself aligned with those hopes and wishes that you have in all kinds of ways. Now, this could be personal progress and a sense of your own positivity magnifying, but it can also be professional progress that takes place for you now, because hopes and wishes can be quite expansive when you consider it. New connections might be made, or previous connections in some way reawaken as part of personal joy or real gains you make at this time. Now, this part of the sky also has to do with connecting with the masses, whether that's on social media or traditional media, and you are able to reach a whole lot of people very quickly now with things that you likely feel very good about within yourself. Virgo, career, social standing, life purpose, and your understanding of a higher, more loving vision for your life. Success and accolades are covered here. Rewards are covered here. And so if it is that you felt yourself in line for a promotion or an advancement, this is where Jupiter can be part of helping that to come together for you. Of course, you do need to do your part. At the same time, if you are hoping for improved relations with bosses and people in positions of authority, one of these people could facilitate a potential opportunity for you as well. Now, this is a very visible part of the sky, and it also has to do with recognition and rewards. Now, whether that finds you in new circumstances like interviews or auditions, they can go exceptionally well now, or whether it is a long time coming, this is where you feel like accolades, gains can be made. The rewards are there. Now, for some, you may have to ask for it to see how it might come together, but in so many ways, the universe is on your side to feel like you've either accomplished a goal or made a win. Libra, long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, and legal matters. You might find there's greater opportunity and possibility that just opens up for you. If you have found any of these areas stagnant in a matter important to you, now it feels as if you're able to get the right advice and take the right steps that actually are going to be effective to get you the outcome that you desire. Now, sometimes we see energies that say, okay, there could be a resolution, but it'll be fair. Sometimes we see the skies say there can be a resolution, and chances are it'll go very much in your favor. That's what we're seeing now. And so if you can be proactive with this and bring a matter to resolution, to move it forward in some way, you're going to find yourself that much more grateful, or at the very least be free of some concern. Now, this circumstance isn't going to apply to many of you out there, but this can also speak to a more personal understanding of where you are to be, figuratively or literally, taking on some adventure that allows you to feel like you're exposing yourself to new experiences, finally taking that trip. Or this could also be your own philosophies feeling as if they support you. They become more than they were before. Scorpio, profound change, truth, transformation, regeneration, and your relationship with financial institutions. This could be some very good news related to a grant, loan, bursary, scholarship, benefits you qualify for, credit cards even are covered by this part of the sky. If you're in a relationship, your partner's income could get some really good news as well. This is Jupiter. You do need to be proactive with it, which means to book those appointments, whether it is that you're looking to pay off, to renegotiate, or to attract more funding. All of that could be possible for you. But this is also about being honest with yourself and moving towards a transformative sense of who you are, a more authentic sense of who you are. And if you've been in some transformative journey, this is where the fruits of your labor feel like they're able to come together for you that much more. So if you've been engaged in physical processes to go through change, well, this is where you feel that much more satisfied with some outcomes that could be more obvious. And if it's psychological change, this is where you reach a turning point, getting more honest with you as to what it is that your truth actually is and what steps you want to take to live it more fully. Sagittarius, partnerships of all kinds, including romantic partnerships. Now, if you had hoped for a sense of understanding, of being on the same page with a key partner in your life, or to feel that that alliance is mutually beneficial, if it's a business alliance in terms of your prosperity, well, this is where you're able to see more clearly and find that understanding. Wonderful progress can be facilitated for you as a result of who you're aligned with. But romantically, this is actually really great, whether you're open to meeting someone new or in an established alliance. For those of you open, well, this can be a time when it feels as if whether it's personal barriers or outward circumstances, ease up, allowing you to connect with other people that much more readily. If it felt like you had your eye on somebody, at least you'll come to know where you stand with them as part of being that much more open to love. And if you are in an established bond, this is a big burst of healing and a burst of faith as well, as part of feeling that much more closer and that much more mutually connected. A spirit of sharing is there that helps both of you feel that much more understood. Capricorn, your work life, your daily life, your habits, your clients, customers, coworkers, immediate supervisors, but also your health-related habits as well are covered here. So one of the more immediate ways this energy can be beneficial is clients, customers, coworkers, immediate supervisors. Either they facilitate blessings, they bring blessings, whether it's new clients and customers or well-established ones. There's a real feeling here of affection and your life being able to move towards more as a result of these particular types of people now. Also, personally, on a level of your health, this is you feeling a whole lot better, or at least understanding what you can do to feel a lot better. There's motivation to do just that by focusing on habits and rituals as you move through your day. And so that's where the power is. And where it is that you're focusing in on those habits and rituals, this is where you could get some very good news related to your health. It could just involve taking a different set of medications, the right medications, making small changes to your eating habits. These can go such a long way to having you feel that much better, that much more quickly. Aquarius, what you want in your heart of hearts in every area of life is illuminated, feels that much more accessible. This is also a part of the sky that has to do with luck and windfalls. So yeah, you might be feeling downright lucky in some way or another now, enough to take chances. And chances are with this energy, you're having fun, you're engaging it with a healthy sense of happiness at this time as well. For all that, this also has to do with the romance, flirtation. You are getting your flirt on, but you're also becoming that much more aware of what love is to you and how it is that you just might want to align with it. Pisces, home, your past, your living situation, your family of origin. Big bursts of healing coming in. There could be very good news related to one of your parents where that applies. But outside of that, this can also be lovely where it comes to feeling like home is where your foundation is, where the heart is, where you feel that much more like you are to be, where home is for you. That could be a literal space. And that understanding could expand for you in some way now, whether that home is abroad or right where you are. Whether you are actually looking at moving, buying, selling, or whether it is that you're just making aesthetic changes, there's this sense that things are moving in a positive direction, that more becomes possible. And if it is that you find yourself in a situation where you can make a move, well, at least with the sky, it looks incredibly promising to be a place of great promise and possibility for you going forward from here. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great week and a great Jupiter Direct. Enjoy.